Ladies and gentlemen, seekers of truth and builders of empires, today I offer you a principle so powerful, so simple, and yet so often overlooked. Think big, act bigger. For within those 5 words lies the secret to unlimited wealth. Not merely the wealth of money, but the wealth of opportunity, of time, of relationships, and of life itself. Let me begin with this. Every fortune ever built, every legacy ever forged, began first in the workshop of the mind. Wealth does not begin in the bank, it begins in belief. It is born from thought, and not just any thought, big thought. Most people walk through life with small thoughts and tiny dreams. They tiptoe through life hoping to make it safely to death. They trade possibility for comfort, ambition for approval, and vision for routine, and they wonder why wealth eludes them. They ask the wrong questions and get the wrong answers, but you are different. You are here to rise above the noise. You are here to awaken the sleeping giant within you. You are here to think bigger than you've ever thought before, and then act on it with such force, such conviction, such urgency that the world must make room for you. Thinking big is not about ego. It is about vision. It is about seeing what others cannot see. It is about closing your eyes to the doubt of the world and opening your mind to the possibility of the impossible. The size of your life will always reflect the size of your thinking. Think pennies, earn pennies. Think millions, create millions. Think limits, live limited, but think freedom, and you shall taste it. But thinking big is only the beginning, for thought without action is a ghost. It haunts the minds of those who wait. Action is the soul of all creation, and not just any action. Bold action, massive action, relentless action. If you want wealth without limits, you must take action without hesitation. The world respects one thing, results, and results are the fruit of movement. While others analyze, you must advance. While others wait for the perfect time, you must become the time. While others prepare, you must produce. The wealthy do not wait for motivation. They do not ask for permission. They decide, and then they move. They understand that life bends to the will of the bold. Now hear this truth. Wealth is not something you chase. It is something you attract by the person you become. So become a person of vision, of discipline, of courage. Build yourself, and wealth will follow. You must act bigger than your fear, bigger than your past, bigger than your excuses. Do not negotiate with limitation. Erase it. Speak in terms of abundance. Walk like you already possess it. Carry yourself like a person of destiny. Think big, act bigger, and you shall claim what others only dream of. In every adversity lies the seed of equal or greater opportunity, but only those who think big enough can see it, and only those who act bigger can seize it. Let today be the turning point. Let this be the moment you step out of the shadows of hesitation into the light of fearless execution. The future belongs to those who dare greatly, who believe deeply, who act boldly, think big, act bigger, and let the world watch as you build a life of unlimited wealth, not by chance, but by choice. Fear is the invisible chain that holds more people back than poverty, lack of education, or misfortune ever could. It is the silent thief of dreams, the unseen force that crushes ambition before it ever takes form, and unless it is conquered completely, no amount of thinking, planning, or wishing will lead to greatness. Every man and woman must come face to face with fear. It is not something that visits the weak alone. It knocks on the doors of the bold as well, but the difference lies not in whether fear arrives. The difference is in the response. Most run, the few rise. Fear has a clever disguise. It hides behind logic, wears the mask of caution, and pretends to be wisdom. It whispers, wait until you're ready, don't take the risk. What if you fail? And if you listen, if you even pause to consider, it wraps its cold fingers around your will and begins to squeeze. You must act bigger than your fear. You must step forward while the tremble is still in your voice. You must move ahead while the doubt still lingers in your chest. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is doing the thing despite it, and when you do this, When you take action in the face of fear, it begins to crumble. It loses its power. The mind is both a battlefield and a weapon, and fear is the enemy soldier that storms the gates when you let uncertainty grow. But action, bold action, is the sword that strikes it down. You cannot negotiate with fear. You cannot bargain with hesitation. You cannot reason with limitation. You must destroy it. Make no mistake, the life you want, the wealth, the freedom, the power, is not hiding behind comfort. It is guarded by fear, fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of success, and yet those fears are illusions, paper walls that fold the moment you lean into them. The masses wait for fear to pass before they begin. But the successful, they begin before the fear fades. They move fast. They act before they feel ready. They build courage through motion, not meditation. Fear multiplies in stillness. The longer you wait, the heavier it gets. But when you act, when you take that first bold step, momentum begins to grow, and fear is crushed beneath it. The person who builds great wealth is not necessarily the one with the most talent or education. It is the one who moves in spite of fear, the one who looks at the same risks others run from and says, "Let's go." Life rewards boldness. It bows to the one who demands more from it, but it offers nothing to the timid. The timid wait, the timid doubt, the timid watch others succeed while they stay frozen at the edge of action. To act bigger than your fear means you raise your standard. You say, "I will no longer be controlled by thoughts that serve no purpose. I will no longer live under the shadow of what might go wrong. I will do the thing. I will take the risk. I will rise." This is not bravado. This is not arrogance. It is truth in motion. It is the commitment to live fully, not halfway, and every step you take forward while fear is screaming at you, that is a step toward unlimited wealth. Understand this, the fear never goes away completely. But you get stronger, you get louder, you get faster, and eventually fear learns it can no longer control you. You are not here to be a servant of hesitation. You are here to lead, to build, to rise. You are here to show others what is possible when fear is no longer the master of your decisions. So whenever fear shows up, smile, because it means you are standing at the threshold of growth. It means you are close to something powerful. And all that's left is action. Act bigger, speak louder, move faster, do not ask for permission, do not wait for the crowd, do not apologize for your ambition. Fear is a liar, but action is truth. And in that truth there is wealth, there is power, and there is freedom, waiting for the one who dares to act bigger than fear. Wealth does not begin in your wallet, it begins in your mind. Long before the first coin is earned, long before the first deal is signed or the first business is launched, there is thought, and not ordinary thought, but purpose-driven, directed, dominating thought. The man who builds a fortune first builds it in his imagination. He sees it, he feels it, he believes in it so completely that it begins to take shape before anyone else sees a single sign of it. The world calls it luck or timing. But the wise know better. It was created first within the mind. The truth is simple. If your mind is poor, your life will follow. If your mind is cluttered with doubt, fear, and limitation, your days will be filled with missed opportunities and frustration. But if your mind is rich in vision, rich in belief, rich in bold, definite purpose, then nothing can stop the outward flow of abundance. You become what you think about most of the time. If your thoughts are weak, your actions will be weak. If your thoughts are small, your life will shrink to fit them. But if you think in terms of greatness, if your thoughts are grand, expansive, and powerful, then the universe has no choice but to respond in kind. Every building you've ever stood inside, every invention you've ever used, every empire that has risen from dust to dominion, all of it began in one place, the mind of a single individual who dared to believe it was possible. They saw it before they had it, and because they believed in it, they brought it into existence. You are no different, but here is the challenge. Most people never train their minds. They fill them with worry, with fear, with distraction. They allow the opinions of others to build walls around their dreams. They feed their thoughts with scarcity, with reasons why it cannot be done, with memories of past failure, and then they wonder why success escapes them. You must become the master of your own mind. You must guard it like the vault it is. You must decide, deliberately and decisively, that only thoughts of strength, of vision, of prosperity, and of growth will live within you. The mind is soil. It does not care what you plant. Whether you sow seeds of success or seeds of doubt, it will grow what you give it. So choose wisely. Choose thoughts that elevate you. Choose beliefs that empower you. Choose a vision so grand that it ignites a fire inside you every morning. You do not need to know how your dream will happen. You only need to know that it will. The mind, once committed, will begin to attract the people, the ideas, and the circumstances necessary to bring your vision into form. This is not mysticism. It is the law of life. Thought, when charged with belief, becomes a magnet. When you think wealth, speak wealth, act with the certainty of wealth, you begin to attract the opportunities that wealth hides behind. But when you think lack, speak lack, and act from fear, you push those same opportunities away. So ask yourself, what are you thinking today? What thoughts dominate your mind when you are alone? What beliefs are shaping your actions right now? Because the answers to those questions are the blueprint of your future, do not make the mistake of looking outward first. Your results are not the cause, they are the effect. The cause is within you. And until you fix the inner, the outer will remain the same. It is not about working harder, though hard work has its place. It is about thinking better, thinking higher, thinking with faith and focus. The wealth you seek is waiting, not in the hands of others, not in some far-off opportunity, but in your own mind. You already possess the greatest power in the world, the power to choose your thoughts. Use it daily, use it with conviction. Build your fortune in your imagination first. Speak of it, write about it, plan for it, act as if it were already yours, and one day the world will catch up to the truth you already accepted in your heart. Wealth begins in the mind, and from there it flows to the hands of those who are bold enough to believe. There is a silent disease spreading through the world. It does not break bones. It does not leave scars. But it kills dreams, it suffocates ambition, it shrinks men and women down to a fraction of who they were meant to be. That disease is small thinking. Small thinking is the root of a small life. It is the voice that says, "This is enough," when you haven't even begun to stretch your potential. It convinces you to settle, to accept crumbs while the feast waits for someone bolder. It praises mediocrity and mocks the pursuit of greatness, and most tragically, it disguises itself as being realistic. The world does not suffer from a lack of resources. It suffers from a lack of imagination, a lack of belief, a lack of men and women willing to see beyond what is and reach for what could be. Most people do not live the life they want because they have never given themselves permission to imagine it. Look around, the evidence is clear. Most people work jobs they dislike, live lives that bore them, and follow routines that never change, not because they lack talent, but because they have been taught to think small. They've been told to be careful, be practical, be grateful for what you have. But here is a truth that will shake the timid. Gratitude is not the enemy of ambition. You can be grateful and still desire more. In fact, you should. You were not born to shrink. You were not born to blend in. You were not born to live at the level of your comfort zone. You were born with potential so vast, so limitless, that the only thing that can ever contain it is your own mind. And if that mind is filled with small thoughts, then smallness will become your reality. Small thinking shows up in 1,000 disguises. It's the person who says, "I could never do that." It's the inner whisper that says, "Who do you think you are?" It's the habit of looking at others who succeed and assuming they had advantages you never will. That kind of thinking doesn't just limit your bank account. It limits your relationships, your health, your impact, your life. Here is the truth you must understand. Your life will rise or fall in direct proportion to the size of your thoughts. Think small, live small. Think big, live big. It is a law. It does not change. It is not negotiable. The person who dreams of building an empire will, at the very least, build something of value, but the person who dreams only of survival will spend their life struggling to survive. If you want to build wealth, don't start with numbers. Start with belief. Ask yourself, what do I believe is possible for me, not for others, for me? Most never ask that question honestly. They put artificial limits on their dreams because of where they were born, how they were raised, what education they received. But wealth, true wealth, respects one thing, vision, and vision is a product of the mind, not your environment. There is no honor in thinking small. There is no virtue in hiding your talents so that others won't feel insecure. Playing small does not serve the world. It robs the world of the light you were meant to shine, and if you continue to think small, you will live a life of quiet frustration, knowing deep down that you were made for more, but never bold enough to claim it. So I challenge you, raise your standard, expand your vision, allow yourself to dream so big that it scares you, and then act, move forward, even if your knees shake. Speak your dream aloud, even if your voice trembles. For every step you take toward that larger vision, you step further away from the small life that once trapped you. You are capable of more, far more, but you must first see it. You must dare to believe it. The ceiling above your life exists only in your mind, and the moment you raise your thinking, you raise your entire world. Think small and you will live a life of limitation, regret, and wondering what could have been. But think big and act even bigger, and you will step into the life that was always waiting for you to claim it. There is a cruel mistake that has buried more dreams than failure ever could. It is the belief that thinking alone will change your life. While thought is the seed of all success, the seed must be planted, watered, and cultivated through action, and not just any action, but bold, deliberate, persistent action. There is no magic in waiting. There is no reward in hesitation. The world does not pay those who merely plan. It pays those who do. Bold action is the bridge between the invisible and the visible, between thought and result, between dream and reality. You can sit and visualize all day long. You can dream about success and speak about ambition. But until your feet move, until your hands get dirty, until your body is engaged in relentless pursuit, your vision remains just that, a figment of your imagination. Every man who has built great wealth or created great impact has done so by stepping into the unknown and doing the thing most are too afraid to do. While others talk, they move. While others analyze, they attack. While others prepare, they produce. Action is the clarifier of dreams. It sharpens the vision. It reveals the path. It forces growth. The man who acts boldly learns faster, adapts quicker, and creates momentum while others are still trapped in thought. The truth is this: bold action eliminates doubt. You cannot think your way out of fear. You must act your way out of it. The moment you take a courageous step forward, fear begins to lose its grip. The mountain you once saw as towering becomes climbable. The challenge you once feared becomes the very thing that builds your strength. Do not wait for perfect timing. It does not exist. Do not wait for all the answers. They will not come in advance. The man who insists on certainty before he moves will never move at all. He will remain frozen while the world passes him by. The bold understand a powerful law. Action breeds clarity. When you move forward, the next step becomes clear. When you knock on the door, the answer reveals itself. But if you wait for the door to open without knocking, you will wait forever. There are no guarantees in bold action, but there are guaranteed consequences in inaction. When you fail to act, life acts on you. When you hesitate, someone else who didn't takes your opportunity. The bold are not always right, but they are always moving, and movement beats stillness every time. Think of any great accomplishment throughout history, any invention, any company, any revolution, any personal transformation. Behind it was a decision made with speed, followed by action taken with faith. There was no blueprint, no assurance, only the willingness to begin and the refusal to quit. The masses want security, they want comfort. They want a guarantee, but greatness has never lived in the house of comfort. It lives beyond the edge, where most will not go, but the bold choose to build. Action makes you a magnet. When you move, people notice. Resources appear, doors open, confidence grows, but when you stand still, the world passes by without a glance, and it should, because results are reserved for the doers, not the dreamers. There is an energy in boldness. A man who walks with conviction will be mistaken for a leader even if he has no followers yet. The world respects courage. It moves aside for those who move forward without asking for permission. You must train yourself to act quickly and boldly. When an idea stirs your spirit, move on it. When a goal excites your mind, pursue it. When a vision demands your attention, commit to it with your hands, your feet, your full will. Do not wait to be ready. Readiness is not a condition, it is a decision. The man who waits to feel ready has already lost to the man who acted while uncertain. Every step forward builds a new version of you, stronger, sharper, closer to the results you desire, but none of it begins until you begin. So rise, decide, move, take bold action. Not once, not occasionally, but daily, with intensity and with intention. Let your life be a story written not in thoughts but in deeds. Let your results speak so loudly that no one needs to ask what you believe, because when you act boldly, consistently, courageously, and without apology, results are not just possible, they become inevitable. No man climbs to the heights of success alone, and no man remains great if he surrounds himself with mediocrity. Your environment, your surroundings, your associations, your habits are either lifting you toward your vision or pulling you further into defeat. There is no neutrality. Take a look at the soil in which you've planted your life. Is it rich with opportunity, discipline, and inspiration, or is it poisoned with doubt, laziness, and distraction? A seed, no matter how full of potential, cannot thrive in barren earth. And so it is with your mind, your goals, your future. The man who desires to think big and act bigger must be ruthless about his environment. He must guard his space with the same intensity that a soldier guards a fortress. Why? Because ideas are fragile in their infancy. A single word of doubt, a single glance of disapproval, a single echo of fear, if you let it linger, and kill a dream before it ever breathes. Examine your surroundings. Who are the people you speak with daily? Are they stretching you or shrinking you? Are they reminding you of your greatness or reinforcing your excuses? If you walk with men who are content to crawl, you will never learn to run. You must choose your associations as carefully as you choose your investments. Surround yourself with men and women who think bigger than you, who act faster than you, who dream louder than you. Let their energy stir your spirit. Let their example pull you upward, and when you cannot find such people near you, seek them in books, in speeches, in the quiet spaces where great minds leave behind their wisdom. The right environment is not always found, it is created. Build it with intention. Fill your world with the language of possibility. Design your days so that discipline becomes natural and progress becomes inevitable. Your habits are also your environment. The way you begin your morning, the way you speak to yourself in silence, the routines you follow when no one is watching, these are bricks in the foundation of your future. If your habits are sloppy, your results will follow suit. If your days are dictated by emotion rather than purpose, your destiny will be tossed by the winds. Order breeds clarity. Structure breeds freedom. The man who disciplines his time controls his life. He rises before the sun not because he must, but because he can. He separates himself from the noise, not to be alone, but to be aligned. He builds a space around his goals so sacred, so focused, that nothing ordinary can enter. Environment is more than physical. It is mental, it is spiritual, it is emotional. What you allow into your mind becomes your belief. What you tolerate becomes your standard, and what you repeat becomes your reality. If you want to achieve wealth, then build an environment where wealth is expected. Think the thoughts of the wealthy, walk with the bold, train like the driven, speak like the successful. The more you surround yourself with excellence, the more excellence will feel natural. You cannot rise if everything around you is holding you down, and if you try to carry those who refuse to climb, you will only exhaust yourself before reaching the summit. You can love people without allowing their limitations to become your own. You can care for others without letting their fears direct your path. You must be willing to change your environment when it no longer serves your destiny, whether it is your circle, your workplace, your habits, or your own thinking. If it limits your growth, it must go. Cut it away, not in anger, but in clarity, for a man cannot step into the future while clinging to the comfort of the past. Choose your environment with purpose, build it with vision, protect it with discipline. For once you master your surroundings will begin to multiply your success. You are not a product of your circumstances. You are a product of your choices, and your environment is one of the most powerful choices you will ever make. If you want to change your life, don't start with the outcome. Start with your environment. Make it fertile. Make it focused, make it fierce, and then watch as the life you've only imagined becomes the life you live. Every man who has ever built anything of lasting value has done so not through luck, not through genius, but through persistence. It is the quiet, invisible force that separates those who only wish from those who win. Without persistence, vision dies in its infancy. Without persistence, goals remain unfinished and dreams are forgotten, but with it any mountain can be moved. Persistence is not loud, it does not seek applause. It does not arrive with fireworks or fame, but it is more powerful than both talent and intelligence, for it is the tool that chisels away at resistance day after day until results are formed. A man may begin a journey with excitement. He may set goals with passion, he may write down a vision so compelling that it shakes his soul, but when the storm comes, when the results delay, when the world turns quiet and progress seems distant, what remains? Only persistence. The world belongs to those who continue long after the mood has left them. Anyone can act when inspired. Anyone can show up when it's easy. But the man who keeps going when there is no praise, no promise, no progress in sight, that is the man who wins. Wealth in all its forms is not created in moments of comfort. It is born in seasons of struggle. It is refined in the fires of resistance, and the only ones who receive it are those who refuse to quit. Not once, not twice, but never. You must understand this principle deeply. It is not what you do once that shapes your future. It is what you do daily. Consistency, even when imperfect, is more powerful than brilliance delivered occasionally. Repetition beats inspiration. Routine beats intensity, because persistence compounds. Most men fail not because they lack ability, but because they lack endurance. They start something, hit a wall, and retreat. They plant a seed, see no fruit, and dig it up. They write a chapter, face criticism, and throw the whole book away. They do not fail because of the world. They fail because they leave before the miracle shows up. But the man who persists learns something the quitter never will, that every great reward lies just beyond the point where most give up. The treasure does not lie on the surface, it is buried deep, and only the persistent are willing to dig long enough to find it. You must persist in your thinking, guard your mind when doubt creeps in, speak your vision aloud when fear tries to silence it, renew your belief when results delay. The greatest battles you will face will not be external, they will be within. Persistence begins in the mind before it shows up in action. You must persist in your habits. Discipline must become your foundation. When the body grows tired, the schedule remains. When emotions waver, the decision stands. When comfort calls, your mission answers louder. Every day you persist, you strengthen the muscle of commitment. Every repetition builds momentum. Every small victory becomes a stone on the road to wealth. You must persist in your relationships, find mentors and hold on to them, build alliances with those who believe in your dream, remove yourself from circles that mock your ambition. The journey is long, and the company you keep will either fuel your fire or extinguish it. Choose well and persist in surrounding yourself with strength. You must persist in your vision. Let no delay, no rejection, no failure cause you to abandon what you know is possible. There will be obstacles. There will be defeats. There will be seasons where nothing seems to work. Persist anyway. Keep showing up. Keep refining. Keep climbing. There is a hidden law. The universe tests all who claim to want something great. It does not give its treasures to those who merely ask. It watches, it waits, it pushes, and when it sees that you cannot be shaken, cannot be moved, cannot be discouraged into quitting, then and only then does it begin to open its doors. Persistence is the proof of belief. If you truly believe your vision, you will never stop moving toward it. If you truly desire the wealth you claim, you will never stop building, even when the world is silent. So, stay the course, be unmoved. Let your footsteps become a drumbeat that declares, I will not quit. I will not back down. I will not surrender. Because when the dream is real, and the desire is great, and the will is relentless, persistence becomes the golden key that unlocks the door to wealth.